This is more about living in the time of the coronavirus, the year 0 CE. Bad news and good news. The curfew has been extended through the week and the weekend, but the time has been set back to 11 p.m. I watched a video of a man out camping. He had a small wood stove in a tent, vented to the outside, and a lantern as well. He stepped outside to pee, and when he came back in, he noted the difference in the feeling of being inside the tent and outside. It was night, near midnight, so dark and cool outside, and warm and well lit inside. As he compared the feelings, the mood of the two, forbidding and inviting, I thought about how the virus changed the way I felt about going outside. I mean, being around other people. And also what it was like to be downtown when there was active vandalism. These are strange times, and it is strange to feel that strangeness in what was otherwise very familiar places and circumstances. I don't know if this has much or anything to do with the coronavirus or the murder and the subsequent protests and riots, but I am thinking about the role of luck in a man's life. It's undeniable, I believe, that it plays a very large part. You can work to minimize it, and you should never depend on it, but luck, the accidental occurrence, is always there. In the case of good luck, you have to hope that you're sharp enough to recognize it and take full advantage of it. When it comes to bad luck, it's your reaction to it that matters. Bad luck comes along all the time. Sometimes it's rotten luck, and it can flatten you, take the wind right out of your sails. But I think there might be a way to work around it or with it, unless it is the final bit of luck that spells the end for you when your luck runs out, and that will come to all of us. Anyone who thinks that they have never partnered with luck is a damn fool. And one last thing about luck. Luck can trick us. What we may think is a stroke of good fortune may wind up undoing us. And what seems clearly to be a curse may turn out to be a real blessing. It can be hard to tell, and it might be true that the kind of luck it is, good or bad, may depend on whose luck it is. That may be what's meant when someone says that a person makes their own luck. I am thinking about the major players in this year 0 CE and exactly how they are making their own luck. I was listening to two men talking about the negotiations between the owners and the players in baseball with the possible resumption of at least a partial season. And one of them said, "I think the daily coverage of this does no good. I think the two sides should go away, sit down, and get this settled, and then they can tell us what they've done." I could not agree more. I think the daily coverage of the epidemic is terrible. That, in itself, is driving people corona crazy. It's like watching sausage being made. It's a very imperfect process, and I think the less we know about it, the better. The same is true for reporting on the protests in cities. All the reporters are looking for is action. Bad news is good news. No news is back to regular programming. I'm all for the regular programming. It's as mindless as chewing gum. Much of the time, the news creates the news, and that is not a good thing. Similarly, someone has got to get the trumpet to stop tweeting. This is not a good time for him. He's getting very impatient and sending out some highly inflammatory messages. He's proud of them. He thinks they show him taking a stand when all they do is hold him up as a jackass for all the world to see. Meanwhile, another number. Even though the economy is slowly opening up, 42 million people have now officially filed for unemployment benefits. That's a staggering number, 42 million people in this country alone. If the government makes all of those payments, we will be awash in worthless currency. People fear the virus, and people call for justice, but it's the financial ruin that poses the biggest threat.